Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of the Triangle Area SQL Server User Group's Data Science and Business Intelligence meeting. This is the first one of the year for us, and we are pleased to have Lakshmi Ponnurasan talking to us about the Powerops desktop. So please, Lakshmi, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kevin. I'm going to just go and share my screen. Perfect. Kevin, quick thumbs up. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, absolutely. There is a little whereby.com is sharing your screen down near the bottom. If you could just select
Yeah,
hide. Perfect. Thank you kindly.
that, perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. Quick shout out to the organizers and a quick thank you to everyone who's present here. Thank you for taking out your time for my session. So, without further ado, let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about Powerops Desktop, which might become your favorite Power BI sidekick after this session. Before we begin, a quick a quick note about myself. So my name is Santana Lakshmi. You can call me Lakshmi, and I am a Microsoft certified Power BI data analyst. I am very passionate about visualization. I am a regular contributor to the data community. I speak on various platforms, and I also have a Medium blog. I will share a link of my Medium blog at the end of the session. And currently, I am a product lead at the company TrueBiz. On a personal note, I am a huge advocate of diversity and inclusion, and I'm a proud dog mom. So if you hear squeaky toys in the back, it's my dog. And I love going on adventures. I'm a very outdoorsy person, and I love trying out cuisines of different cultures. So that's pretty much about me. And before we get started into the actual session, I would just want to talk to you about my organization. So I work at TrueWiz, and that is where I lead product initiatives. We are Microsoft partners and leading providers of data and analytics solutions. So currently we have three tools: PowerWiz, PowerOps, and Power Optimizer. PowerWiz is basically we have an advanced custom visual library, and you can just look into all our custom visuals in the Microsoft app stores. So all those who use Power BI on a regular basis, I am sure you would have come across at least one visual by PowerWiz. And then we have Power Ups. So the session is about Power Ups today. I will give you a deep dive into what Power Ups is, how it can be helpful to you. And then there's a new tool coming up called Power Optimizer, and it's a very powerful tool which will help you optimize the performance and efficiency of your reports. I will keep you updated on the timeline of when Power Optimizer is available for the public. So, quickly coming to the game plan for today, I'm going to give you a quick introduction of what Power Apps is, what are the product types that we offer, and then we'll dive straight into the Power Apps demo. A little bit about the pricing details, and a very important aspect I will cover about the data security, and I will also unveil what is on our roadmap. So pretty much, if you have any questions, type it in the chat. Kevin will convey to over to me, or we can even have a question session at the end of the session. Okay, so first, let's begin with what is Power Ups. So, Power Ups is basically a single platform where you can analyze your Power BI reports, find dependencies in your Power BI reports, compare two versions of Power BI reports, version control them, and my favorite part, where you can self audit your own Power BI reports in a very user friendly way. Coming to the flavors of Power Apps, so we offer you two product types. The first is the Power Apps Desktop, and then we have Power Apps SaaS. So you can say Power Apps Desktop is going to be a local superhero, resides in your system locally, does not need internet. And Power Apps SaaS is a global guardian angel, which is always available online. And just a quick note, PowerUps Desktop is free. So for the first 2 months, you have unlimited uploads. You can upload as many reports as you want. And then it becomes two file ads per month. So that's how it works. Coming to a quick visual comparison of what the difference is between the Powerops desktop and Powerops SaaS. All the features in desktop are available in Powerops SaaS. The only thing, since Powerops desktop resides in your local, you will not have version control and you will not have automated deployments. So these are the only two drawbacks. And coming to the usage, so Powerops desktop is good for individuals who don't need version control and are from small organizations. PowerUp SaaS is great for large organizations or enterprises where they are looking for version histories, version controls, and rollbacks. I will also give you a quick sneak peek of how the version control works. You will be amazed to know that you would be able to control your version just by single click. So you don't have to be a technical expert to version control your reports. And I will also talk about a showstopper. So this is a very brand new feature that we launched this year, which is the automated documentation generation. You all know how hectic and how consuming generating documentation of your Power BI reports and models is. But we've come up with a new feature wherein just by a few clicks and within minutes, depending on the size of your reports, you will be able to generate your documentation. So you can generate it in PDF formats, or you can even generate it in Word formats and then later go on edit it. So I will show you the live demo of how this particular feature works as well. And yep, let's dive directly into the demo. So the first thing is, just a second. Yep. So all you have to do is go to powerups.app. This is our beautiful website where you can find in all the information about our particular product. Go to Powerops desktop, since I'm going to talk about Powerops desktop today, and then put in your email address, download it, and install it on your system. Once you install it on your system, say you open your Power BI report. This is my Power BI report. You have an option called external tools on the top. So all the external tools that you download get listed here. So once you install Powerops, you will see the Powerops coming up here. All you have to do is click it. On clicking, I've already opened it for you. You will see a screen like this come up. Or if you decide you want to directly open Powerops and then add a file, you can do that too. So once you open Powerops, you'll have an option called add a file. All the recent files that you've dealt with in Power BI will pop up on the left pane like you see here. You can either open it directly, or say you have saved your file elsewhere, you will be able to open it using this browse option. Just a quick note, we support PBIX, PBIP as well as the PBIT formats for now. We haven't started with PBIR because it is still in preview mode, but once that becomes official, we will make sure to get it included as well. And if you see, you can upload your report as well as your model. And again, when it comes to the model, you can upload your BIM files, TMDL files, or even your semantic model folders. For now, let's just stick with the basics, and I'm just going to go with a PBIX file, and I'm just going to open another PBIX file. So once I click add, what happens is my Power BI file opens in the background. It'll just take a couple of seconds depending on the size of your file. Let's just give it some time. So the best part about getting the file opened in the back is any change that you're going to make in your Power BI reports in Power BI desktop gets reflected in Powerops. Just to show a quick example, let's open a report that I have. If you see, currently here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. When I go to Powerops, you see that it lists out 4 pages, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if by chance I decide I'm going to add 2 more pages randomly, so I'm adding page 2 and page 3, and then I go save it. After saving, when I go back to Powerops desktop, you will see you will see a notification on the top saying the file has been modified. Once I hit reload, you will see the magic happen where my newly added pages also come up here. So what I'm trying to tell you is it's linked. So whatever changes you make in your Power BI reports will get reflected in this Powerops app. So now let's get started with the interface of Powerops. If you see on the top, Powerops is divided into four different sections: analyze, find usage, compare, and best practices. We will go section by section. The first is the analyze section. Analyze section is known for giving you a skeleton structure of your entire report as well as your data model. It will list down each and every element present in your report. In the analyze section, the first part we have is called a summary section. In the summary section, you see it's just like tidbit information about your report and your data models. Coming to reports, it tells you how many pages you have, how many visuals you have, how many custom visuals, graphical representation of the same. And quick features is you can download, say you're creating a quick presentation to show to your client and you want to tell them like these are the visuals I've used. You can just download it in JPGs, go and paste it in your PowerPoint presentations. And then coming to the model, this covers the data model part of your view, like how many tables you have, how many data sources you've used, what are the number of measures you've created and used in your reports. The next section is the report section. The report section gives you in-depth, detailed information about your report elements. So if you remember the summary, we were talking about pages, wherein we just spoke about how many pages are there. When you come to the report section, you're going to get in-depth information about the number of pages, what type of the pages they are, whether they are standard pages or they are tooltip pages, what are the canvas dimensions, and so on. So if you see, it lists out all my pages along with what the page view is, what the canvas type is, and if you have a canvas background, that will be listed out here too. Quick UI features to note here is, say you have more than 6 pages, say you have hundreds of pages, we've given you a beautiful search option wherein you can go and filter it out. Another thing which we have is you can sort out your columns according in a ascending or descending order. Couple other features are, so if you remember, you were able to download charts in in a JPG format. So since these are tables, we give you freedom of downloading them into CSVs and Excels. And then let's move on to visuals. Coming to the next important section, which is the visuals. You will here what you will see is the number of visuals, more information about the visuals per page. So it will be divided into every page, and you will also be able to see a preview. For example, I have this page called info wherein it says I have 7 visuals. You have this preview option where it will tell you which particular visual I'm talking about. So if you see the visual title is products and says the slicer type is the visual type is slicer, when you hover over the preview, it will exactly tell you which visual you are talking about. So this gives you clarity about what visual I am talking about. And then more information like what are the fields that we used to create this particular visual, are there any visual filters on it. So basically, it just gives you a skeleton view of your entire visual landscape in your Power BI reports. Also, we've divided into subsections. Say you want to know more about just the formatting stuff, you don't want to know anything else. You can hover on to formatting, click on your visual specific formatting. You will see a complete JSON of all the formattings that are possible. Coming to visual interactions. So if you know, sometimes we cross highlight, cross filter, or sometimes we even stop the interactions between two visuals, you will be able to find all the information in this particular place. And general just contains more information about what is the height and width of that particular visual, what are the positions, and so on. Also in this particular report section, we also have a wireframe view. So if you click onto the wireframe view, which you see on the top right, you will be able to see a wireframe view of your dashboard. So the info has 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Although it says 7, you see there are only 6 visuals here. That's because there is one visual which is hidden, and we have given you an option of either see the hidden visual or just basically hide it. So that's one quick feature that we've added. A wireframe view like this gives a quick view of what visual it is, and what are the fields that were used, if there are any visual specific filtering used, that comes up here as well. Going back to my report models, next comes the custom visuals. So sometimes what happens is we end up experimenting with a lot of custom visuals. We keep downloading custom visuals, and then say out of the 6 visuals I end up using just 3. So what we've done here is we've given you a beautiful segregation of the used as well as unused. So what you can do is, since you know that the 3 of these visuals are not used, you can always go ahead and uninstall them. So this is a quick use case of the custom visuals. Coming to filters, all the filters that you use in the entire report, visual, page level, report, or relative filters will be listed out here. I'll just show you a quick glance of the page filters maybe. So it just tells you that in this particular page called info, we have a filter wherein you've said that the date hierarchy is all. So this is a quick example of how we will show you the filters along with the filter definition. So if you see here, I filtered it the month as January. Coming to bookmarks. So all of us can agree that bookmarks is like a black box concept in Power BI. So whenever we create a bookmark, we cannot really figure out what visual is included in the bookmark, what are the properties that are included in the bookmark. In Powerops we have an option called bookmark details, wherein you will be able to see detailed information about your bookmark. For example, this particular bookmark called bookmark 2 has all these visuals inside it. So it has a shape, image, it has a custom visual here, and the custom visual has a couple of visual filters applied to it. um, it also has a card visual. So basically what you're trying to do is we are demystifying the entire bookmark and seeing it detail by detail, just to understand the particular bookmark better. Coming to actions, so we create a lot of buttons sometimes for navigation or for bookmark purposes. Or quick example, say you want to show dark mode and light mode in the same dashboard, we use a button. So this particular action section will give you the entire information about what are the number of buttons you've used, what are the action types you've used. Sync slices, pretty basic concept in Power BI. So if you go to sync 2 slices between 2 different pages, you will be able to see the informations here. Navigators, same concept, page navigators, bookmark navigators, if you use, it comes up here. Like you see here, it says that there is one page navigator that's being used. So these are the report items that is being covered in the analyze section. Coming to model, everything related to your semantic model, your tables, columns, hierarchies come up here. So when it comes to tables, you have more information here saying how many columns are there, what are the type of tables. So if you go to create a calculated table, it'll come up separately saying that there is a calculated table that's being used. Columns, every particular table is being listed out along with all the columns. Along with the columns, you will also be able to see what are the data types of the columns, have they been sorted out using another column, are they implicit measures, and more information on that. Just like we had a wireframe view in the report section, we have a data model view, and we've tried to keep it as close as to what we see in Power BI. So just for a quick glance, just if you want to know what other tables you have, are there any tables that are hidden, and so on. Coming more into the specifics into the data model, we have hierarchies. Say your report has like 10 to 12 hierarchies. Instead of looking into them manually, opening each table manually, you can easily come to Powerops and see all the hierarchies listed out one below another. Parameters, data groups, whenever you create lists or bins, you will be able to view them easily here. Data sources, so say if you're going to use a lot of data sources, you will be able to find everything here, and we've given you a easy copy option, just in case you want to use the same connection definition in another report. Relationships, a detailed information about the relationship between 2 tables, along with it also tells you whether it's active or not. If you have any refresh policies enabled, those information come up here. Coming to perspectives, if you have any perspectives created, these come up here. So the report and the data model sections are very basic sections which just give you a detailed breakdown of your report. Coming to the DAX section, and this is somewhere where something which I struggle with. Sometimes what happens is I end up creating lot of measures unknowingly, and then keep looking for the measures. But instead of looking for measures manually, all I can do is come to Powerops desktop, and you'll see all the measures listed out here. So here, if you see that my particular report, I've just used 8 reports, 8 basic measures, and you see that these are my measure names that come up along with the expressions. All my expressions have a copy. I can say I think that I want to reuse it in another report. I can just copy these directly from here. It'll show you more information about if you have any particular formatting enabled for these measures. Coming to similarly, calculated columns, calculated tables. I will not go in detail. Everything is the same. We've also included the DAX query view, which is the latest feature. So every query you create there will be reflected here. We also have visual calculations. Every calculation you create on particular visual comes up here as well. So this is a quick glimpse into the DAX section. Coming to the dependency section, and a very useful section, you can say like one of the sections which really helps me is the dependency section. It helps you do an impact analysis. So the dependency section is divided into model dependency, report, and Power Query dependencies. Coming to model dependencies, it will help you find the impact if you decide to modify or delete a particular column or a measure. For example, I have a diagram here which shows me the dependencies of each measures, columns, and calculated columns. Now, if you see, randomly decide that I am going to alter, I'm going to modify this particular shipping date column. Now, when I do a right click and do a filter, you will see that this particular column shipping date affects all these measures and calculated columns. So, what I can conclude is if I'm going to alter this particular shipping date, all these measures and calculated columns are also going to be affected. So this is a very good way of using this dependency section. Quick features here is we have an highlight option. So when you just click over it, you see that it gets highlighted, telling you what depends on what. And then I've showed you the filter option as well. Coming Taking this particular dependency one step further by including visuals and pages is the report dependencies. So here, if you see, you will see a ER diagram here. So here it says that I have 3 pages. So say I decide I'm going to filter it according to my page execute. Here you will see that all these green dots are basically my visuals. If I decide I'm going to go ahead and delete this particular column called sum of unit cost, once I click on it, you will see that this particular column drives 2 of my visuals in present in this particular page. So this also helps me do an impact analysis where it tells me every modification or change I'm going to do is going to affect the visuals in this particular page. So this is a quick example of how you can use the report dependency section. The Power Query dependency section just tells you the data source, tells you which tables depends on what data source. If you have direct queries or inactive tables, those come up here as well. And for people who are not comfortable with the diagram view and want more of a table view, we've also given a table view where we've directly given what is the referencing object and what are the referenced objects along with the expressions. Coming to M queries, another concept where, say, you decide you want to replicate something, or you want to view all your M queries together, you can use Powerops. So if you see, I have all my M queries listed down here. You have options like you can copy the formatted M query, or you can particularly download this particular M query as well. So these are the couple of options that are available under M queries. Roles. Sometimes for security reasons we set up roles, row level security and object level security. In order to see all the roles together at one place, Powerops is the right place to come. So if you have a lot of security roles set in your report, you will be able to see them listed one by one here. So in this particular report, I just have one security, so you will be just able to see just one security that comes up here. Coming to info section is a very informative section where it just gives you tidbit insights about your particular report. For example, what is the version of your particular report, what is the theme you've used, if you've used any external theme, that comes up here. Also gives you what language you've used. On the right side, you see more detailed information about, say, have you used the time intelligence feature? Have you used the sensitivity labels? Do you have you also used the custom visuals that are uncertified? And you will see that on the right side, some of the trues are in red, some of them are in black. That's because we've conditionally formatted just to give you a sort of a warning. For example, as best practice, it's always advised that you are not supposed to use custom visuals that are not certified. But here, since it says true with a red mark, it basically means that you have used a couple of custom visuals that are uncertified. In order to rectify this, all you have to do is just go to the custom visuals, go to the use section, and you see that I have three used custom visuals. And out of this, you will see that one of my custom visual does not have the PBI certified sign. So the tick mark you see here is basically telling me that that is certified. So basically, this particular custom visual has been used and is not certified. So it's just a quick way of telling you that there's a warning. Please go ahead and take care of your report. So this is pretty much about the analyze section. And since I told you, we've come up with a new feature called the documentation feature, wherein you can easily document all that you just saw in a matter of seconds. So all you have to do is you see this documentation button on the top, hit it. The first is the select objects section, where you can select what you want to document, what you don't want to document. For example, I'm just selecting everything. For now, I'm just going to select one particular section so that it doesn't take time. So once I hit, you will see a export section ready. Once the document is ready, it'll ask you to type in your file name. So let me just type in documentation. Once I type in documentation, like I told you, you have two formats that you can select, the PDF or the Word. Once you are ready, you can go ahead and download it. Just for the convenience, I've already downloaded it. I'll just show you how the PDF looks for now. So this is how the PDF documentation comes up. The first page is always going to be a table of contents, just to make it easy for you. And if you see that the table of contents is navigatable, so say you directly want to navigate to the custom visuals, you just hit on custom visuals, you will be able to go to the custom visual sections. And then you can keep going down. You will see everything that you saw in the analyze section will be documented out here. And then at the end you'll have the info section. So this is the PDF format. Say you decide you have a couple of changes that you want to do, you also have the Word document. For example, just a quick example is, say you want to just add in your company's logo. So all you can do is download it in say your Word format. Instead of the Power BI logo here, just delete the Power BI logo and then just add in your own logo. So this is a quick way of using the Word format. So you see, this is how the documentation comes out in the Word format. And yeah, that's pretty much about the documentation feature. And if you see, like, it really just took a couple of seconds to generate this. So you have no manual efforts and it saves you a lot of time. So any questions regarding the analyze feature or the documentation? Kevin, is there any question available for me?
There are no questions at the moment, but if anybody wants to put them in chat, get them in there and I will ask away. In the meantime, I'd say just continue on and we'll pick it up.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, now let's move to the find usage section, a section that I really like and I currently use like every time I'm creating a report. So find usage section is very beneficial for you to do an impact analysis, to see, to do a quick cleanup of your entire report, to see if the columns or the measures you've created have been used or not. Quick use case: sometimes to create one particular measure we end up creating a lot of tiny measures, and at the end you're just confused, like, have I used this measure or not? So this particular section will help you find out if you've used any section or not. For example, on the left side you see these are the tables. So all these are the name of the tables that are present in my report. You see these red tiny dots. So these red tiny dots just indicate that there are some elements in this table that have not been used. For example, I have this customers column that has not been used in your entire report. So when I hit on customers, you see it says that no usage is found. So basically, what you can do is go back, delete that particular customers. So you are just optimizing your report, deleting unwanted stuff. Now, I have created a measure called top product, and it says that a number two next to it. So basically, it just tells me that there are two usages. When I click on it, you will see that it gives you a division of where that particular measure has been used. So here, if you see, it tells you that under the report section, it has been used in one visual. So I have used this particular measure to create one visual, plus it has been used inside a bookmark. So do you see how detailed Powerops is, that it was able to find out the usage of a measure inside a visual, inside a bookmark. So this is how detailed the find usage section is. Quick another example, say I have a customer key column. It tells me that I have three usages in three different places. So one I have used in the data model section, and then once I've used to create a DAX square, DAX, and then I just have it in my row level security as well. So this is the find usage section. Quick features here: if you just want to view the unused measures or unused columns, just hit the show unused only, and then you will be able to see all the measures and columns that have not been used. We have an export option here. Say you want to export the usages, or just want to keep a note that this particular measure was not being used anywhere, and that's the reason I went ahead and deleted it. You can do that too. We also have a quick diagram view here. So the same diagram that you see in Power BI, but then you will see these dot notifications, which tells you that it has no usage. Say if I have this table called sales, and if I hit cost, it will give me all the usage of the particular column has been used 4 times in visuals, 2 times in bookmarks, and 1 time in DAX. So this is a very good way of finding out whether you've used a particular measure that you've created, or a quick way to do a cleanup of your report. Any questions about the find usage section? Please leave it in the chat. I will make sure to take it after my session. Let's move on to compare section. This section is one of the sections that will blow your mind, because it will actually help you compare two versions of your report. Now, say I have sales report version 1 and I have sales report version 2. So since they are version 1 and version 2 is basically the same reports with a lot of changes. So here, if you see, when I hit compare, I have a comparison of both the reports, wherein you'll see three different colors: yellow, red, and green. Yellow says it's modified, red is removed, and greens are added. So if you see in the report section under pages, let's just pick up the first status, which says modified. When I select the status modified, it will give you a detailed view of what are the exact changes that you see. So if you see, both my reports have the same page, executive, executive. But the thing is, in my first, I don't have a wallpaper image, but in my second report, the user has added a wallpaper image. There are color changes that were being done too. Similarly, a different page, the same sort of thing, like I have added a wallpaper image. And then you can see that in my first report, I have these three extra pages that are not present in my second report. That's why it says that it's being removed. Coming to visuals, even in the visual, you will be able to see what are the particular changes that were done. For example, the same card visual was used in both the reports, just that the cross filtering was changed. So basically the visual interactions were changed. So if you see, every little tiny change that you do gets picked up in the compare section. Coming to bookmarks, even the slightest of change will be picked up here. So if you see, the entire bookmark structure is same, just that one of my table was changed. So if you see, nowhere I see yellow except the across the table name. So this is a quick way of seeing what are the changes between the two versions of the report that you have at hand. And excuse me, this will cover all the sections that we just saw and analyzed. So you see the report section, the role section. Coming to the DAX section, every measure, so every change in the measure. So if you see in the first report, I have done a top end with 1, but in the second I have a top n with 2. And you see how 1 and 2 are highlighted to exactly tell you what the change was made. So this is a quick example of the compare section. It also covers the model. So if you like I've removed a table and added a new table, and coming to columns, say there were changes in the expressions. Couple of columns that were hidden in the first report were made active in the second report. That comes up here too. So if you see here, it says that I had a column called store key, which was hidden, but now, sorry, which was not hidden, but now it is hidden. So this is a quick use case of the compare section to see what are the differences in the data model as well. Even in the relationships, coming to the info section, it also tells you what are the changes. So say there was a major theme change that was done. For example, you want to see a detailed view of the compare section wherein you want to see what were the changes not done. You just have to uncheck this box. You will be able to see more information about the both the reports side by side, just to see that okay, so basically tooltips were used in both the ways. Time intelligence was used on both the reports. So this is the compare section. Helps you easily compare two reports. You don't have in a very user friendly way. You don't have to do a git diff. You don't have to go into technical stuff. Coming Any questions about the compare section, please put it in the chat. I will pick it up after the session is done. Let's move on quickly to the best practices section. So the best practices section, like I told you in the beginning, it's one of my favorite sections which I use to self audit my own reports. So Power Microsoft has given a set of rules, industry standard rules, which they expect us to follow as best practices, and they've hosted all these rules in GitHub. I'll just show you a quick view of how it looks. So these are the rules that was given to us by Microsoft. Now, if you see, as a beginner, or say as a non-technical person, it is not really easy for me to understand what exactly this rule means, or how do I go back to my report and check if this rule is being followed or not. And then there are a couple of rules here. Sometimes might be very confusing for non-technical people to understand what exactly this rule is. So what we've done is we've picked these rules along with a couple of rules that we've added on our own, and we've put it in a very user friendly, user intuitive way to make it easy for you to work with. So the first screen that you see right now is the overview screen, which will tell you the total number of rules that you have. So you have 82 total rules, out of which your report has passed 48 but has failed in 34 rules. And then we've divided the entire rules into sections, like you have report level rules, formatting related rules, performance affecting rules, maintenance rules, and so on. Let's dive deep into it. So let's quickly touch the report level rules. When you go to the report level rules, so Microsoft has handed us only the data model rules. These report level rules were suggested to us by a couple of MVPs. So we worked with a couple of MVPs, took their inputs, and then bought all those rules together and got this section called the report rules. So here it says that I have 22 rules, out of which 11 has failed and 11 has passed. So now, since I told you you can self audit your own report, so this is how I do it. What I do is I generally go first rule by rule. So, say in the fail section, let's talk about one particular rule. This rule says that each visual should have a title except for the card, slicer, and Power BI elements. Also, you will see you will have a description to support this particular statement. And then it will also tell you that in what page, which type of visuals do not have a title. So here, since it says 24 objects, you will see 24 objects listed out here. So what is expected out of you is go back to your Power BI reports, give a title to all these visuals, come back here and see if the rule has passed or not. Quick another example, say let's pick this particular rule which says the page should never have a canvas wallpaper as an image. So they always suggest that when you have a canvas, don't use an image. Instead, use like a light background color. Now what I've done is purposely used, and in page 1 I have purposely used a wallpaper as an image. Now what I'm going to do is go to my report. So in page 1, if you see, I have a background image. I am going to go ahead and remove it. So I have removed it. Once I've removed it, I'm just going to save this particular page. After saving, go back to Power BI and hit reload. So once I hit reload, ideally what should happen is the rule that was failing should move to the rule that has passed, because I went ahead and corrected by mistake. So now if you see here, the rule which said that the page should not have a canvas wallpaper as an image, which was failing earlier, has now passed because I went ahead and removed my image. So basically what I'm trying to do is self correcting myself. Now all the 10 rules that have failed, all you have to do is click on each rule, read about the rule. We've given you that these are the points which need to be corrected. Go back to your report, correct those, save it, come back to Powerops and see if those rules have passed or not. So this is a very quick way of checking your Power BI reports before passing it on to your higher authorities. So this was the report rule that I was talking about. Next, like I told, we have model rules. So these rules that were suggested to us by Microsoft. So in formatting rules, you have a lot of rules which says that you have to mark your primary keys, and then say if you have a date column, provide the format string. So you have to give what particular format you expect your dates to be in. Performance related stuff, say every model should have a data table. Maintenance, always tables should have relationships. Unnecessary columns should be removed. DAX expressions, naming conventions, and so on. And quick things to notice is if you see you have H, M, and L. So these are severities. So high severity, medium severity, low severity. Say in your organization is okay with low level failures. I mean, you want to highly concentrate on the medium and high level rules. All you have to do is just select your high level rules from the top check boxes, and then you will see that out of the 16 high level rules, 8 have passed and 8 have failed. And then you can go ahead and correct them in your Power BI reports and come back here. Quick features that we offer in the best practice sections is you can edit the rules. For example, in the report rules, your organization doesn't really care about a couple of rules. All you have to do is click on edit rules and you can enable those. For example, the canvas image that I talked to you about, if your organization is okay with having images, go ahead and disable it. So this is a quick way of editing your rules. Or say you want to edit this particular rule, wherein you want to say that uh, it can have a canvas image, but it should always be a particular URL. So you can just go ahead, edit this expression out here according to your requirements, and then save your rule. Another quick thing, you want to add your own rule, you can do that too. Just give a name of your rule, set your severities, set the scope of your rule, write down the expression for your rule, and you're all set to go. Another quick thing here to notice is we have custom rules as well. For example, your organization has a totally completely different set of rules that you want to use. You can always have a JSON file ready, upload that JSON file here, and apply it to your report. So this is a quick way of using your brand or your organization report best practices, and you can use Powerops to check, to cross verify against them. Another quick thing you can see here is you have an option of downloading these model rules or report rules. Say you want to document it, or you want, say, your entire team to use the same set of rules. You can always download these rules, pass it on to them. What they have to do is just go ahead and they have to upload it on their systems, and then they will be able to use the same set of rules. So these are the quick features in the best practices section, and this section has really helped me um, increase the quality, optimize my reports as well. So do give this section a try. Um, Quick features of Powerops desktop that I would like to highlight is we have a dark mode. So since Power BI has a dark mode now, we also have a dark mode for people who like to work with dark background. So everything you'll see is color contrast. We've taken care of that. And then we have a settings section where we also give you an option of logging your entire activity. So the logs, again, since it's local, the logs will stay local to you. We do not get any of your information. These logs are really helpful when you want to troubleshoot any issue. So that's a quick thing here. And then in the about section, you will always be able to see that if we give you a new version of Powerops, it comes up here. So these are quick features of Powerops desktop. Any questions, Kevin? Do I have any questions?
Checking chat here. No questions at the moment.
Perfect. So before we proceed, I would also like to show you a quick version controls that I was talking about. So the thing that I just showed you right now is Powerops desktop. We have the same uh, product in the SaaS version. And as I told you, SaaS version, the additional things are what we have here is the version control, which I will give you a quick demo of how the version control works. All you have to do is go to Powerops, hit try for free in the SaaS. So how SaaS works is you have to either connect your Powerops to your GitHub or to Azure DevOps. So currently I am using Azure DevOps. So once I click on Azure DevOps, you see that it asks me for my credentials. So I've put in my credentials. The reason I'm stressing on this is you are connecting Powerops to your credentials. So basically, we do not have access to your account, or we're not going to see any of your reports or data. Once I log into my Powerops, I will also show you how it works on the backend in the DevOps. I will just open it. So now what I'm doing is logging into my DevOps. You will see how Powerops has been connected to DevOps and see how quickly things work. So once my Azure opens, I'm ready to go. So now what I'm going to do is creating a new repository. Repository is basically just like a workspace like we create in Power BI. So I let's do try pass demo. And then I'm just going to add one of my report that I have ready. Let's do a PBIP report. Okay. So what I've done is I've created a repo and uploaded one of my PBIP files. So what you will see currently is everything that you saw on Powerops desktop. So you remember the analyze section, the find usage section, the compare section, the best practice section. So all these sections, just like you saw in Powerops desktop, comes up here. One section you will see extra is the version history. So this is where I was talking about the version controlling. So once you see version history, it first tells you that I have added a new report, gives me the date, gives me the time. Now let's go back to Azure and see what happens there. Let me go to Azure, doing a quick refresh because I added a new repo. And then I am going to look for my repo. So it is TryPass demo. And then you see that I've added in my new report. See on the left side, you see that I've added a new report. All the report information comes up in DevOps. And if you see the last change is just now. So you see how coordinated Powerops and Azure is right now. Now, what I do is say, use case, I have a report and my colleague has suggested that I have to use the same report, just change a couple of things or say just change the theme. Now, my particular report, let's go to info section and has the theme Bloom. So what my colleague has suggested is have the entire report same, but instead of theme Bloom, I want a different theme. Now what I do, I go back to Power BI, I change my theme. Now, when I come to Powerops, I don't have to upload my report again. What I can do is modify it. So when I hit modify, it will ask me to upload my new file. Now what I'm doing is going to upload my new file with the new theme. So once I do that, the first screen that I will see is the comparison between it. So if you see, I have like 70 to 80 changes. That's because I've changed the theme. Just to quickly show you, everywhere you see is always going to be the colors that have been changed because I've changed the theme. Now, once you're satisfied, say, I am like, okay, good, I am good with this. I just put in a commit message. So I'm just putting change the theme from Bloom to say XYZ. And then I'm pushing. So what I'm currently doing is replacing my old Power BI with a new Power BI file. Now, you see that I have not added it since I've replaced it. I still have just one report on my left side pane. Going back to the info section, and now when you see my theme has become tidal. So initially the theme Bloom now has become theme tidal. Now, say I leave the organization, someone else joins in. He is not going to know what has happened before I left. What he can simply do, go to the version history and check what has happened. So initially there was a file that was added. Excuse me. Later the file was modified wherein the theme was changed from Bloom to XYZ. Now that guy decides, no, I don't want XYZ, I want to go back to Bloom. He doesn't have to go look for the PBIX file or PBIP files. What he has to do is simply go to my first version, hit restore. You see on the top which says restoring commit. So what is happening is I'm going to restore, go back to my old report. Let's go to analyze section, go to info section. You see that now my theme Bloom is back. So basically what has happened is I was able to modify my current report within a few clicks, within a few seconds, and then I was also be able to restore my old reports within a few clicks. And this is, say, even if I'm going to have 10 or 20 of my versions, I will be able to restore and compare between two versions very easily using this version history. Now, just to show you the compare feature here, like I said, say I'm new to the organization and I'm wondering what has happened, I can just hit the compare section to study what was the comparison, that what was the changes that was done initially. So for example, here if you see there were a lot of color changes that were done, I would be able to understand that okay, they were these are the changes that was done. So it's easy for me as a newbie in the organization, newbie in the team, to understand what the changes were. So this is something additional that we offer in Powerops SaaS. And just to talk about the security feature, I'll just share my screen again. uh, so the security feature, so we are SOC2 certified. So basically it is a certification standard for security compliance. None of the data is available to Powerops. We do not see any of your data. We only access the metadata which is present in the PBIP files. So you can be rest assured that your data is safe. When it comes to the SaaS version, since you are connecting to your GitHub and to your Azure DevOps, your data always remains the same. Coming to the roadmap quick, since we're running out of time, the roadmap currently what we are trying to do is bring in the pull request feature. So our aim with Powerops SaaS is to make it as an end-to-end feature. Since we already have version control right here, we are trying to bring in the pull request. We will also get peer review and admin portals. Peer review and admin portals are going to be really helpful for managers. In the next, we are going to focus on getting automated deployments and no code pipelines as well. In Powerops Desktop, we want, what we're trying to do is integrate enable uploading services from the Power BI service. So currently, since it's local, we are uploading a PBIX file. But in future, what we want to do is enable us to connect to a Power BI service so that we can access. One use case here is, say I have a production workspace and ready, but I do couple of changes in my in my local report. And if I want to compare between my production level report and my local report, I will be easily able to do it with Powerops Desktop. So this is pretty much what we have in our roadmap for now. And that's it. I'm done with my session. And if you have any questions, Kevin, if I have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it.
There are no questions in chat right now, but this is your
Mhm.
best opportunity, chat. If you have anything you want to ask, now's your chance to ask away.
Absolutely. And I can also show you the website. So this is our website. You have all information, and specifically a specific section dedicated to data security. Say if you want more convincing your manager, or if you want us to help you with setting up demos, or would like to talk to us in detail, please do visit our website. We are always there to help you guys. And we also have a pricing page. So we have different tires with different tailored. We also offer you tailored custom pricing according to the number of developers or users you have. You have all that information available here on our website. So please go ahead, try it out. And since Powerops Desktop is free, I would suggest all of you just go try it out. At least the best practice section, just to know where you stand. What is the quality of your reports? Yep, that's pretty much it from my side, Kevin.
Oh, okay. So there is a question in chat here, and the
Yep.
question is around making network KPI monitoring with Power BI. Do you have any recommendations on that?
Can you repeat the question?
So the question reads, I want to make the network KPI monitoring with Power BI. Can you please recommend what can be the easiest way?
I am not sure if Power Ups could help you with that, and no, I don't think Power Ups could help you with that.
Okay, fair enough.
Hmm.
All right. And by the way, for the answer to that question, I'm not sure off the top of my head either. Be something next episode of Shop Talk. You might want to bring it up and we can talk about it. But in the meantime, we're gonna wrap things up for this evening. So thanks everybody for coming out. Thank you, Lakshmi, for talking to us about Powerops Desktop. And with that, we will wrap things up. So, quick reminder that we will not have an advanced DBA meeting in February. We will pick that back up in March. We will have our main meeting and data science and Power BI meetings in February. So, those are going to go up on the schedule in a few days. With that, let's close things down for one evening. And until we do see each other at a future meeting, everybody take care.
Thank you.